Sing unto Yahweh, let all the earth call. Bless his name and show forth his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory amongst the...
Shalom, shalom, Israel. Barakatah Yudewahe, Elachenu. And shalom, shalom to Israel and all of Israel scattered abroad. Okay, today we are going to look at Isaiah chapter 8, and we are going to look at verses 16 and 20. Okay, in the English it says, in the KJV it says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, there's no light in them or no truth in them. And Isaiah 16, 8 and 16 says, in the KJV, it says, let me see here. It says, bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples. To the law, to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. Okay, but what does the Hebrew say? And what is the context that the Hebrew is giving? And what is it speaking about? Okay, so we're going to go into the Hebrew and we are going to take a look. So Isaiah 16, and the word for testimony in this chapter, in both verses, in verse 16 and in verse 20, is Teudah. Okay, right here, right? Teudah. Then you have that same word right here. Where is it? Teudah. Okay. But you have a conjugate, verb conjugate, and you have a lamed preposition in front. Okay, which kind of changes the meaning a little bit. Okay. But right here, Teudah, and we have Wela Teudah. Okay. So we're gonna go into this word and see what it says. We're gonna dive into this word. All right. It's the same word. It comes from the root word. It is the actual Suresh root, as you can see, Teudah. Right? Teudah. It means definition, testimony, witness, attestation, meaning attestation of precept or usage. Okay. It derives from the word ya'ad, which means to appoint or to designate. The Hebrew word Teudah means a testimony or a witness, often in the context of a legal or formal declaration. It is used to denote something that serves as evidence or proof, particularly in a conventional or judicial setting. So the whole context that he's saying, Teudah, which is different than the word eduth, which means testimony as well, which means witness, etc. So it's kind of like a situation where you have the version, Bathuma and Alma. You have Teudah and you have eduth. All right, I think I have eduth right here. Yep, right here to show you. Eduth, right here. We have eduth, which means testimony, witness, etc. That is used in Exodus and other places. Okay, so we come back over here, Teudah. So, right here. Okay, there we go. Teudah for a testimony and a witness. In ancient Israel, the concept of testimony was integral to both religious and legal systems. Testimonies were not only verbal declarations, but also included written records and physical symbols that served as reminders of covenants and divine laws. The Ark of the Covenant, for example, was known as the Ark of the Testimony because it contained the tablets of the law, which were a testimony to the Most High's covenant with Israel. Now, remember, it is a noun, feminine, singular, okay? So, in verse 16, as you can see, it says in verse 20, it gives you both of them, Isaiah 8, 16, and 20. It refers to the prophet injunction, okay? The prophet's injunction. Well, what is an injunction? Let's see here. What is an injunction? First of all, testimony is A formal written or spoken statement, especially one given in a court of law. That's why it says in a legal context. Okay. Now, injunction. What is an injunction? Listen. Oh, not. I gotta get a new keyboard. My keyboard is worn out. Injunction. There we go. An authoritative warning or order. Right? A writ granted by a court of equity whereby one is required to do or refrain from doing a specified act or instance of enjoining. An authoritative warning or order. So, the prophet is giving a warning or a order in both of these verses. Bind up the order, the evidence, okay? And what is he talking about binding up? If you go up here to verse 1, right here, verse 1, and the Lord said unto me, take thee a great tablet and write upon it the common script, the spoil speedeth, the prey hasteth. And I will take unto me my faithful witness to record Uriah the priest and Zechariah the son of Yeberaka, to Yeberaka. And I went unto the prophetess, and she conceived and bore a son. And the Lord said unto me, call his name Maher-Shal Hashabaz. Now this is the virgin from Isaiah 7:14. Okay, this is the virgin. For before the child shall have knowledge to cry, my father and my mother, the riches of Damascus and the spoil of Samaria shall be carried away before the king of Assyria. And remember, over in Isaiah 7, it said, I think, honey, before the boy shall know good and evil, the land shall forsake both her kings, talking about these two lands, Damascus and Samaria. Further proof is, that's why the Most High said, verse 16, Isaiah said, by the testimony, set up the destruction amongst his learned ones, okay? Amongst his learned ones. That's exactly what it says. It doesn't say disciples, because that word there is Belamude, okay? Belamude. Right here. Belamude. You have the Shawa, makes the E sound. You have the Bet with the Dagesh, that makes the hard B, so it's Be. And you have the A right here. This the Belemu. Belemu. You have the Dagesh inside the Mim. You have the Dalit, and you have the Yod. Belemude. Belemude. Okay, Belemude means learned ones, right? Learned ones. And, I guess let me go prove that real quick. It comes from H39, H3928. Oh, I put a space on it. H3928. I don't like using the blue letter, but that's the only one that came up on it. Let me see if I can find it in the other one. Because that's the root word, lamud. See, lamud translates to learning or instruction. All right, but it has a bet preposition. There we go. Means taught, learned. Okay, learned. It comes from the root word lamad, which means to learn or to teach. So lemude, belemude, among my learned ones, among my taught ones. Okay, it has nothing to do with disciples. That's how the English translated. And the reason why they say that is because why? Because it comes from the Greek. Like it says, corresponding Greek disciple or learner. No. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean disciple. Disciple is a Greek word. We didn't have that. It means from my learned ones, from my taught ones. Okay, my taught ones. All right. So it's an adjective, and it had the preposition bait. All right, which means among my, and the preposition lamet. So, I mean, not the preposition, but the preposition bait. It's the adjective, masculine plural construct. Okay, as you can see right here, adjective, masculine plural construct. From the root word lamai. Okay, so when it's saying this right here, when you have does it say disciples? It says from my learned ones or my taught ones. Okay, now Isaiah 8 and 20. Okay, Isaiah 8 and 20. You have Leterah, Leterah, Teudah, Im, Lo. Okay, Im, you have the conjunctive right there. Im means if. Then you have Lo. You have the adjective negative participle right here. Lo. Okay, means not. And you have Yemeru, Yemeru. Okay, and you have K-Dabar. You have K-Dabar. And I forgot what this was called. Teacher just taught us this right here. That when we see this, the dagesh with the patak, I think it is dagesh with the patak, it makes a double. And it also, the word follow, the letter follow makes a double. So that's where we get the K-Dabar. Okay. And then you have Hazeh. Okay. Hazeh, which is the masculine singular pronoun. Asur, Im, Lo, Lo, Sahar. Lo Sahar, light. So you know Sahar is light. Okay? Lo Sahar. In them light. There's no light in them. Okay? Now, we want to look at the word right here. Wele Teudah. Wele Teudah. Because it came from the same thing right there. Alright? Now, what was Isaiah giving evidence or witness to or warning injunction to? It was the king Ahaz, and we know this because we go to chapter 7. It says, and it came in the days of Ahaz, the son of Jotham, the son of Uzziah, king of Judah, that Rezin, the king of Abraham, and Pekah, the son of Ramallah, king of Israel, went up to Jerusalem to war against it, but could not prevail against it. And chapter 7 ends, and the hills that were digged with the mattock that shall not come thither for fear of the briars and thorns, but it shall be for the sending forth of oxen and for the treading of sheep. And it goes right on into chapter 8. And the Lord said unto me, right? So, because remember, it didn't have any chapters and verses in the Hebrew, it was just one scroll written, right? And the Lord said unto me, take thee a great tablet. All right. So, this is the legal context of what Isaiah 8 and 20 and Isaiah 8 and 16 is saying when he's saying bind up the testimony. Okay, he's saying bind up and seal up the the warning, the injunction that the Most High told Isaiah to say against the nation. Okay, because they were being wicked, they were following King Ahaz, or they did not oppose King Ahaz. There's no opposition. And let's look at some of the things that King Ahaz did. Okay, let's look at some of the wickedness of King Ahaz. Let's go to Second Chronicles. Let's go to Second Chronicles. Go to Second Chronicles, chapter 25. And let's see some of the things that Ahaz was doing. It says, start at verse 1. Amaziah was 25 years old when he began to reign in Jerusalem, and he reigned 20 and 9 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Jehohadan of Jerusalem. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, but not perfect with heart. Let me see here. Was it Second Chronicles 25? What was it? I had to read down. Yeah, I might have did it wrong. I might have put it down. I don't know where it's at. Let me see if I had this right here. Second Kings. I might have it wrong. I wrote my stuff down wrong. Let me see. Second Kings 16. Okay, Second Kings 16, right? So Second Kings, Ahaz began to reign, and he was 20 years old when he began to reign, and 16 years in Jerusalem, and he did not that was right was in the sight of the Lord, like David his father, but he walked in the ways of the kings of Israel and made his son to pass through the fire. So he was killing his sons. Okay, he was offering his sons as sacrifices over the Moloch, which is followed after the ways of the Canaanites, according to the abominations of the heathens, which the Lord had cast out from among the children of Israel. That right there lets you know proof that he was following after the Canaanites, okay? Because it says which the Lord had cast out from before. So he started doing what the Canaanites were doing and worshiping the Canaanites God and going further and showing even more devotion and pretty much extremism by sacrificing his sons to their god or whatnot, to the god of the Canaanites or whatnot. Okay, and he sacrificed and burnt incense in the high places, on the hills, and under every green tree. All right, he was trying to innovate the worship because the Most High said that for them to do those things in a certain place, and he wanted to do his own thing, pretty much, kind of like a lot of Israelites today. Then Rezin, king of Syria, and Pekah, son of Remaliah, king of Israel, came up to war, and they besieged Ahaz and could not overcome him. All right. So I just wanted to go into this right here and let y'all know that chapter 8 was about, the context of verses 16 and verse 18, verse 16 and verse 20. And just to prove that chapter 7 and 7:14 was about Isaiah's children, he tells you in verse 18, behold, I and the children whom the Lord had given me shall be for signs and for wonders in Israel, and from the host who dwelleth in Mount Zion. Okay, but that wasn't the point of the video. But I just wanted to show you guys verse 20 and verse 16, that word Teudah and Wele Teudah are the same, and it means in a legal context, like as evidence, and somebody, as Isaiah was giving account of being a prosecutor for the Most High, or representing the Most High in a legal sense in the court of law. Okay, so just a little quick lesson, a little quick video. If you like, leave a comment, let us know what you think about it, and spread the video and share it, and appreciate it. To the next video. Shalom, shalom.
Sing unto Yahweh a new song. Sing unto Yahweh, let all the earth call. Bless his name and show forth his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory amongst the heathens and wonder amongst the people. Every morning and evening I give him praise. The false gods are vain by the Most High. The skies was made, nothing new under the sun. Yeah, these times don't change. I guide my steps, direct and devise my ways. Honor and majesty my Yah retain. Beauty is in the sanctuary amongst the saints. Give Yah glory and strength. Search far and wide across the seven seas for a sign, but never seen a God alive like Yah, my Elohim.